everybody. Welcome into Perspectives. We are so glad you're here with us today. Before we get into it, there's a little something I want to pass along. I've had several calls and emails about the availability of flu shots and, the new COVID shots, the booster. Let me tell you what you need to do. If you're having a problem getting in to get an appointment through CVS or Walgreens online, get in the car and drive to Walmart, because they'll take you right then. File that away, but get those shots. This is going to be a rough season, and we don't want to lose any of you, okay? Now, my first guest today is a very interesting lady and brings to the table a wealth of information about places that you've driven by and probably didn't know everything about, and she's here to fill us in. Kyra Carby, it's good to have you.
It's nice to be here. You set the bar real high, so I'm gonna try to bring it back down.
I don't do it. You stop that. A little bit about you first. You were a teacher first, were you not?
I was, and before that, I was a chef, and before that, I worked in retail. So I've done a little bit of everything.
Wow. But now, you go into this place, you fill out an app, they test you, they put you in not one, not two, but 3 places.
Yeah.
How do you handle it?
I handle it the same way an educator would, just one day at a time, making sure that I'm showing up the best I can for my community and my organization, and just having a good time.
You work out of the marketing department?
Yes.
For a gathering place, for Guthrie Green, and what's the third one?
Lowdown. So I'm the community engagement manager, and I'm housed within the marketing and engagement team for GGP Parks LLC, which is a fancy way of saying Gathering Place, Guthrie Green, and Lowdown.
I know for a fact George Kaiser didn't just, hey, here's a stack of money, go build this. A lot of thought, a lot of planning, a lot of serious planning went into a gathering place. You know about that. Fill us in.
Well, I'm not going to give any dates because I know I was going to be quizzed on a history lesson, but I will walk through that. George Kaiser had this idea of he wanted a place that wasn't tied to politics, how much money you made, what area of town you lived in, just a place where people could, for all intents and purposes, gather, which is where you got the gathering place. And the idea was, the manager of that project was Jeff Stava, and he spent a lot of time traveling to different parks in America, in the world, to figure out what would make for the best park. What would be a place that, for our core values, engage, excite, and educate. And with that, in 2018, we had the opening, which we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary of the Gathering Place. The pictures you're seeing now is the Williams Lodge, beautiful view year-round, whether it's summer, fall, summer, a nice place to get out of the heat since we're having a warmer than usual fall. Just honestly a beautiful place year-round.
How do you get any sleep time taken care of if you've got all 3 of these entities to manage? How do you do that?
Well, when I was younger, I was told I had the gift of gab, and my mom told me if I could ever find a job that paid me to talk, I'd do well, which is probably how I became a teacher. And then now working with community is a thing that I love. It doesn't feel like work. I get to go places like this beautiful campus at Rogers State and talk about Gathering Place and Guthrie Green and Lowdown, which at the 2 green spaces, Gathering Place and Guthrie Green, it's always free. We never charge. When I first started, I was like, are we gonna put a ticket booth up at some point? They're like, no, it's free. I'm like, well, what if we charge? It's free. And now I understand the tagline that it's free, it's a gift. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
What a marvelous idea.
It is.
This man, and well, actually 2 men, came up with to give the city of Tulsa a lasting place to go, where you don't see the same thing twice. You know, if you go today and then you go a week from now, you're going to see something different.
You will. I mean, our team over there, whether it's our education department, our programming, our horticulture team, the maintenance team, everyone takes so much pride in their work. When I first started a little over a year ago, I just spent time talking to people to understand what it is they bring to the park. What do they enjoy about the park? We have people who have a background in the zoo, in botanical gardens, in arboretums, and it's expansive. We have former educators. We have members who have worked at Disney, SeaWorld, National Geographic, Vogue. These people breathe the work of giving back. Whether it's at Gathering Place or Guthrie Green, the teams are just so intentional about giving people things that they wouldn't necessarily experience. Because if they did, it might cost you $100 to go to an exhibit out of state without travel. But last year we had the photo arc exhibit that was completely free. A few years ago it was the Kinsey collection. Right now we have a free exhibit in the boathouse telling the story of Gathering Place. This weekend we have a number of shows at Guthrie Green that are completely free. At Lowdown, every other Wednesday we have free energy night, which is a jam session for whether you're in middle school, high school, college, or a professional, lifelong piano player. You can come out and just jam with different musicians. We're just creating community and space for people, as well as teaching them how to be stewards of this great land that we have.
It strikes me that, in fact, just looking at this, it strikes me that there are a lot of folk, when they are new to Tulsa, before they even get here, they're going to want to know what's out there. And these 3 stops have got to be on the list.
I mean, they have to be. They have to be. The program like Tulsa Remote that brings people here that can work remotely. I know that's one of their stops is you got to go to Guthrie Green. You have to go to Gathering Place. You have to catch a comedy show at Lowdown, which people forget that we have Bluebell Comedy Fest nights every month at Lowdown. And there's a lot of amazing comedians that have gone through there. I mean, it's a beautiful way to see Tulsa and meet the diversity that is in Tulsa in one place without having to try. You just get to connect with people, whether it's single parents, couples, people looking for a place to work remotely in the lodge. It's just a beautiful place for people to come together.
We got about a minute and a half. Before I let you slip out of here, I got to know, for the benefit of the folks at home, you ever have any of the youngsters that were in your classrooms come through and see you and recognize you?
I do. Sometimes they'll have field trips that come through Gathering Place and also at Guthrie Green, and I'll hear somebody yell, "Miss Carby." And I kind of panic. I look around for a minute and they're like, "There you are. You haven't been at school. We thought you didn't have a job." I was like, "Well, I'm at the Gathering Place," or "I'm at Guthrie Green." Like, "Well, that's good. We were worried. We thought maybe we ran you off." And I was like, "No." I just pivoted. I didn't abandon teaching. I just get to work with educators and students in a different capacity.
I so envy you, what you're doing, and you're a very, very good spokesman for all 3.
I try to be.
Thank you for taking time to come visit with us and help the folks at home understand a little bit more about it and what's going on down there. What are the hours for them?
Right now, the Gathering Place is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Guthrie Green, I think the curfew on the lawn is 10 p.m. Don't hold me to that, but we have programming usually on Friday and Saturdays. We have fitness classes that meet 5 days a week. All this can be found on the website at Guthrie Green or on social media, gatheringplace.org. And if you search Lowdown Tulsa, you can get a rundown of our shows Wednesday through Saturday.
Well, I'm out there from time to time, and I'm going to look you up sometime and
Please
say,
do.
Let's grab a burger.
Yeah, where are we going to grab a burger at? What's your favorite place?
I'll bring them.
Well, there we go.
All right, we're in.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, kid. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.